Greetings, and welcome to a Sunday edition of Runescape Weekly. Magebit here. Joining me today is Pyrnassius and Vega. We'll be getting into your Sunday edition of RuneScape Weekly very shortly here. I'm just going to quickly transition into our intro song so we can get started here. Because I don't think we really have any preface news to really get into here. Unless anyone is gonna preface me with anything that I don't know about.
No, we just get the party started, eh?
Yeah, correct. Vega, you got anything to throw at me? We good?
I'll start.
Cool. All right, let me just pull up. We got my intro music ready. Yeah. All right, let me stop our buffer music. That's not how you stop the buffer music. That's how you start the intro music, apparently. My hotkeys don't work ever. That's just how that's the rule. Until I purchase the Stream Deck, my hotkeys are never going to work. That's just par for the course. Okay, let's do this. And this is the first time I'm using Evernote, by the way, to actually like read out an intro. So I'm sure it's going to be messed up. I'll mess it up. Let's do it. Because I've got wiki coding everywhere now. So like, there's just like stuff everywhere. So this should be interesting.
It looks different.
It does look different. I'll take a big swig of water. And welcome 2019. This is the first show of 2019 done in Evernote, done with our new system. This is going to be progress and all productivity for 2019. Let's do this. Here we go.
It's the sixth age of RuneScape Weekly.
It is. This is the sixth age of RuneScape Weekly. Yeah. And this is our 10th anniversary coming up. Can't believe it. In 3, 2, 1. You are listening to RuneScape Weekly for January 6, 2019. I'm your host, Magebit, with over 17 years of RuneScape experience. Joining me today is Pyrnassius and Vega. And on today's show, Bank Rework Shelved, Mobile Dev Diary, 1 million subs strong, 5 million downloads for old school RuneScape Mobile, Cape rework discussion. Let's play Scrapped versus In the Works. That's it, apparently, and enjoy your show. I didn't really put a good ending there. Sorry about that. I told you I'd screw something up.
Yeah, it just sort of ended on you.
Yeah, just
maybe what you need to have is that last bit there in a big bold thing. On mine, bold thing, so you know where it ends.
Yeah, I'm not used to having the. I'm used to having a bold thing there. Yeah, I am. I'm used to having a bold thing there saying like find us on the web for So, welcome to your first show of 2019. I feel like a ship that just ran into kind of the shore there, but that's okay. Welcome. I appreciate you taking the journey with us from 2018 into 2019. And if you've been here for a long time, thank you as well, because this is going to be our 10-year anniversary. I mean, I'm sure there's no one who has been here with us for 10 years but myself, but holy crap, it has been a long journey. And I know there's at least a couple listeners out there who have been around for like 4 or 5 years, so that's still pretty crazy.
So I found you guys back in 2011 when I first started.
That's like 6 years or something.
What are we? 2019. That's 8 years.
All right, I suck at math. Yeah, we already knew that. Oh yeah. Don't let me near a calculator because it'll just melt at the sight of me. Well, yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so you've been listening to the show for 8 years then?
Yep.
Well, you just started
when you
doing
took your break,
show.
and I've been doing the show for a couple of years now. But back then, and then when you had a bit of a break, and Shadow did a few episodes.
Oh yeah, I remember
separately,
that.
and played all of those.
Oh yeah,
I think they're still on my old hard drive too. All those old shows.
Wow, that's
I used to download them and then transfer them across to the iPod and things like that. So
yeah, I wonder if we even still have those. You might be the only one who has those. That's funny because
maybe I can work out a price and we can
right. Oh, that's funny because there was actually a while ago when we recovered the seasons 1 through 4. It was actually via a listener, and I was like, how much do you want for those? Because I'm going to turn around and charge for them. And he was like, no, you can. He just gave them to me. And,
of course. I mean,
yeah.
it's, yeah.
But, and now you can get them for at patreon.com/RuneScape. But I don't charge a lot for them. You just pledge any amount, and they're there in the archives, available to listen to. But yeah, I think Shadow's shows are in there somewhere, but they might be, they might not be. You have to do the digging. That's the thing.
That'd be an interesting job for our wiki.
Yeah, we need like
we can get them going through all that.
That's the thing. Good segue. I didn't even put that in the PSAs.
I know. I saw that. So,
but I really should have.
Wiki.
Yeah, I should have put that in the PSAs. That's a really good PSA to start off with. We have an actual functional wiki now, which is kind of blowing my mind. You know, it's been a project in the back of my mind for a long time now. Podcast upgrades for the win. Been listening since 2014, says Fintum. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's been Fintum, by the way, is part of our wiki team. Just want to mention that. One of our lead wikians. So this has been a project just in the back of my mind for about a year or two now. BladeCom, thank you very much for the resub. Just got 2 billion total XP. Congratulations. That's awesome. Also, nice. Thank you to Fintum as well for the resub for 6 months in a row. BladeCom on 3 months in a row. Thank you so much for the support. It's really helps the channel out. All that does really help keep us going here. Yeah, wow, 2 bill. That's awesome. I just derailed myself. Yes, the wiki is been a project that I've been really wanting to do for a while. Our show notes have been kind of scattered for a long time. They've always been attached to the podcast RSS feed, but they've never really been searchable easily. Our old podcast archive had a catalog system, but it was always just like, you know, categories like RuneScape Weekly or uncatalogued, and that was about it. And it was impossible to really find anything you were looking for, right? But now, with this wiki system, it would theoretically be able to... Why is this repeating? This is not supposed to repeat. Sorry. We're working out the bugs in 2019 here. So, yeah. I've always wanted the show notes to be searchable and be able to, like, oh, you know, I want information on X, and you could just search and find every show related to X topic, and that's the goal. And throughout 2019, and honestly, I think we can have this project pretty much off the ground and functional within, you know, a couple of months. So,
and the good thing about that, I mean, the wiki, I mean, you can go back to sort of 2 or 3 years ago when Mage was dead set against Treasure Hunter and such, and, you know, was really angry about all the stuff. And now where he's come around and constantly spends bonds on getting his keys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of...
You can see the turnaround over that. Oh, exactly. I mean, and that's, you know...
Yeah.
That's the fun thing about those type of things.
I really want this project...
How people develop them.
Yeah, I really want this project to exist and get off the ground. And it seems as though we've had some support for it. If you want to support it, you're more than welcome to join the team. Just get in touch with me, either via email, show@runeweek.com, in-game, clan chat, whatever, however you want. You can check the wiki out at runescapeweekly.com. That is its dedicated domain, runescapeweekly.com. So our goal is to backlog get every show we've done that's on YouTube into the system, and every future show we do to be also logged also into the system. So that's our goal. That's our plan. If you want to be a part of the project, you're more than welcome to join us. It's going to be a lot of work. But hey, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. Or if you just want to check it out and bookmark it, you're welcome to do that as well. RunescapeWeekly.com. Moving along on the PSAs as well. I have another personal project. I have been also... 2019 is just personal project year for Magebit. It's my big development year, apparently. I got a lot of stuff I want to do. I hope I don't overload myself, but I also want to do a personal project that fields me the ability to conceptually design an adventure RPG, which I want to do really badly, but I need kind of the creative space to do it, and I want a lot of people to bounce ideas off of. So I've gone and created a Patreon that is not based off of a monetary goal. It's based off of a crowd goal. So if you want to check it out, it's magebit.me. So it's actually based off of people. If we hit 25 individuals who join us, we'll begin the project and actually work on an adventure RPG. So if you're interested in something like that, you could check it out. In the meantime, I'm just posting my individual writing projects and stuff like that. So if you're interested in actually just checking out my artwork and seeing what my actual skills are like, and if you think I'm actually have the capability of maybe actually conceptually designing an RPG on paper, then you can check out my stuff, magebit.me. Anyway, also, where I'm actually getting a lot of my productivity and stuff from is from Skillshare. I've found Skillshare to be monumentally helpful, and I've been doing this all within the past 2 months. I got this 2-month free trial from Skillshare, and I really wanted to pass that on to other people. So if you want to, you can check it out at skill.magebit.tv. Also, there's just one more thing from RuneScape. You can win a print of the illustrated Gielinor map. There's a link in the PSA section of the show notes, which you can also you can check it at runescapeweekly.com. Again, we have
Just to go back on that skill.magebit.tv, I signed up earlier just to have a look at it, and it really does look magnificent. There's things on business, drawing, content development type things. There's a lot of stuff on there for people, lifestyle stuff.
I knew you were a business person, but you'd never really revealed to me that you were an artist and like to draw.
Oh, I love drawing. I'm a big drawer, and that's one of the reasons I bought my iPad Pro, is just to get back into, because I've always been a pencil and paper drawer, so always decent at that. Trying to learn these programs to draw digitally is it's not easy.
No,
trying to remember how do you do this, how do you do that, and so it's got all sorts of classes and stuff on that. So
there
if you like
are
that type of
tons
thing,
of classes for Illustrator and Adobe, all sorts of Adobe master classes. So yeah, if you're interested in that type of stuff, you can get 2 months free. Skill.magebit.tv. I'm enjoying it. You can try it too. There's no obligation. You can cancel anytime. Anyway, we have a new face, or voice rather, since we can't really see faces via audio unless you are tripping hard, bro. Vega joining us today. Hey Vega, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm well.
It's a pleasure. So we had you a little bit on the end of the year show, but you didn't get to fully really immerse yourself into the episode, and that was my fault because I didn't really kind of see your PM. And because I freaking XSplit just mutes all sounds when I'm streaming, and I don't have enough monitors to see Discord, so I totally left you by the wayside.
Not a problem.
Well, I feel bad because I had your name in it and everything, and then you messaged me at the right time, and I just basically left you behind in the driveway at the beginning of the road trip, and I felt bad.
Home Alone style. Not a problem, man, because I was using my laptop mic, which did not sound great. So, it worked out for the better that I was more prepared for this episode here.
You do sound great. I'm happy to have you nonetheless, and I do hope to continue to get you on, and I would like to hear a little bit about your background, about your RuneScape career, if you will. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I've been around for since about 2007. Sadly, I've never really had a consistent account for all those years. With it being kind of back in the older days now, my parents, as a child, they saw RuneScape as more of a chat room, I guess you could say. So in our household, I was very sheltered. They weren't too excited about that. So I would have to sneak over to friends' houses and create new accounts every time at a new sleepover and whatnot. So games were lost, but so the account that I play now, Vega, he's about 5 years old, but being my first consistent account, but I've been around since about 2007. So I've played a while, and
you know, it's funny. I've heard that story before from parents. Like, I love.
It's awful, man.
I know,
awful.
And that's such an ignorant stance that parents take. So you know, but I've heard it like when I was a kid. You know, like I had friends that their parents had that stance. And like, you know, I have friends from different generations that their parents, you know, it's every generation's like Hannah's parents hated RuneScape, and she'd never had members and had to basically hide her play.
Yeah.
And having to hide your RuneScape. I was so lucky. Just looking back on my RuneScape play now, I was so freaking lucky. To have such unfettered RuneScape playtime now, just hearing all the RuneScape stories of from other people now, I just can't even. Yeah, interesting. Carry on. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Membership was not even in question. You know, I mean, they would just see the text chat above your heads and immediately think, yeah. So the chat room. So yeah, that's never an option for me.
That's amusing. And I mean, there's real risk there. Go ahead, Brim.
No, I was going to say, are you sort of more of a skiller? Are you a PVM person all around?
Yeah, more of a skiller. See, I haven't maxed yet. Being this is my first real account, you could say. I haven't maxed yet, so really just skilling is all I do, honestly, until I get up to PVM.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any endgame aspirations? Like once you hit max, do you have any specific goal in mind? Or so I did a poll, I think about maybe 6 months ago, where I asked just basically the RuneScape community at large, where we got a sample size of about 400 players, and I asked people once you hit maxed. What people thought of XP past 99, and it was fairly split and 50-50. Most as far as like what people thought about XP past 99, and people were fairly split about what they thought about what to do past max. So I'm curious what your thoughts are of what to do past max.
Well, past max, man, that still seems a lifetime away. I have a lot of catching up to do skill wise, but
that's
fair.
Past max. Yeah,
it's all the free XP. You'll do it in 3 months.
Right. I don't know. My 2019 goal is my first 120, which I'm thinking about either thieving or, if I want to do it to myself, agility. So yeah,
agility is it's a rough one. That's like it's one of my last 120s. I have agility, herblore, crafting, slayer, hunter, and that's it. So one of my last ones.
Agility 120 capes, beautiful.
It is. It is definitely one of the most rare capes as far as 120 capes go.
Yeah. Past max. That's so far ahead. I haven't even thought that far.
Really want the rune crafting one. That's fair. And a lot of players do not think past max, and I think that is the average mindset is not to think past max. And that's why I wonder why the average mindset Jagex seems to be pushing to max. But that's more of a rhetorical question, not directed at you. Just throwing that out to the ether.
Because I don't get that either, why they try to push everybody to max so quickly.
Anyway, good background. So you would see yourself more as a skiller, just kind of heading towards max. But do you have any bossing aspirations, or just mainly putting yourself in the skiller arena?
Skiller arena as of now.
Cool. I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that. I'm trying.
That's basically it for me.
I love those elite dungeons, mainly 2, which I guess that's a 1 in 2 shot. But anyway, it's a pleasure, and I feel like we've gotten to know you a little better. Let's get into some negativity
awesome
right off the bat. Then go ahead, Fern.
No, I just want to say, awesome mic that you've got there now. You're really crystal clear. You were talking about that pre-show, the mic you've got. So I just want to tell you, you're coming through probably one of the clearest we've had on in a while.
Yeah, good.
Excellent.
Good review for Razer, at least on day 1. Let's Razer.
We'll see how it holds up.
I was gonna say Razer generally makes good products. I'm still using this Razer Naga Chroma. And I've had this thing for at least a couple of years. And I'll tell you what, when you don't throw them across the room, they last a lot longer.
I bet, yeah.
I've learned that. Yeah. So
the mage rage is real.
Well, yes. Well, it's less real now, I'll tell you that. And, so let's get into a topic that I think really kind of collectively raged the community. The bank rework, and the bank rework is a sore spot for a lot of the community because of, I think, how long it's taking. But how this was announced, I think, really is what struck a nerve with a lot of people. Mod Porky, I like Mod Porky, I really do. I think that he is a sweet, outgoing, awesome person, and I would love to have him on the show. But I do think that he fails to communicate in the best forms for a community manager. Now, I know Twitter is yes, a good platform to communicate. Reddit is also a good platform to communicate, but projects like the Bank Rework that are massive and have been collecting hype, rolling down Mount Everest, just avalanching, snowballing for literally years, require more than 240 characters to explain when you're going to put on a shelf. I'm sorry.
And yeah, I mean, that, again, something that should have been done either on one of their live streams or on an official post on their official forums, or in an actual news post on the front page.
A small news post.
Properly what was happening. Now, he's come out and on Twitter said, well, basically, because of mobile, we've had to shelve it, da-da-da-da-da. And as you said, he's done this on Reddit, which, I mean, Reddit has its place, but it's not the most sane forum out there. I mean, people just go nuts over the littlest things. So the blow-up that sort of happened once he announced that on Twitter and on Reddit and it come out there, as you said, people went absolutely nuts. And it took Mod Shawnee to come out and say, well, hang on a sec. It's not shelved completely. It's being delayed slightly. We're still working on it. Shawnee's had to come out and announce, listen, we've got something in the works. We didn't want anyone to know about it yet because we're not sure if it's going to work. But to try and have to appease the players out there, we've had this announcement that, hey, this is being done. It's in QA at the moment, being tested to see if it is possible. And, if after it goes through testing and such and it doesn't work, bang, Shawnee's going to be damned for it because, but you told us this.
Yeah.
It's something that shouldn't have come out. And as you said, Mod Porky's a great guy, but that's not the type of thing and not the forum to be bringing that type of stuff out on. Now, Jagex really needs to get themselves a good PR team. It's great having your community managers and all that type of stuff to talk to us and such, but you need an actual PR team to, when you have these type of things, who can put the right spin and give the right amount of information without making it seem, really bad or really good. It's got to be within expectations of people.
Yeah.
And they are working on some placeholders now. Infinite tabs or more tabs, I'd love to have that, but that's if I don't get that, okay, I'm not overly fussed. It is the placeholders that I really want, and so I think the majority of people would be happy if we just got the placeholders, and then they said, okay, you got your placeholders, your bank rework's not going to be, the rest of it's not going to come for 2 years because we've got other things on. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But the reason I wanted to have this discussion is just I wanted to talk about about just that communication that they have on some things. And this isn't the first time, Shawnee's had to come out and, basically not apologize, but clarify what someone else is saying and get the community calmed down again, because it was miscommunicated, and that's not his job to be sort of putting out these type of fires.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, I think, and I agree with that, Sarah. I mean, I agree that most players just want the bank holders, big placeholders rather. I think that's the most wanted.
That's
feature.
the major one. Yeah.
But that's probably the most work, and I think that's why I agree they're working on it now. I think Porky made a little bit of an oopsie by announcing this over Twitter, which then got pulled to Reddit, which it was then tarred and feathered, which then of course Shawnee has to come in and hose it down. If this was maybe, like you said, handled in a blog post on their official website and then brought to Reddit for discussion instead, I think this would have been handled much better. That's, I think, a more reasonable route. When you see news posts pulled from the front page and discussed on Reddit, things tend to go down a little bit better than when you see tweets pulled from official JMods and bended and twisted into players to bend whatever players want them to say. Because this tweet is innocent. Like, if I read it out, it actually sounds perfectly fine. Hey all, I'd like you to know that the bank rework and placeholders have been shelved for the time being. We're currently not actively working on it, and as of writing, there's no concrete plans to do so. The bank rework would be a huge undertaking, and it is not a priority for us at this time. If we have more news or information to share, we will. And that's pretty basic. Fine. Obviously, there's more priorities on the table right now, but it's what do you do with that? There's so many more questions than that. So,
that's right. And as you said, 240 characters is not enough to put out about something of that caliber.
So, I don't know. How do you deal with that? So that I don't know. It's sad though. It's sad to see that this has been shelved in the first place, but it's more sad to see that they would have the communications, I guess, put in this order. I don't know. I think it's more so that Mod Porky is just getting used to his role, because I think that he is still getting used to it. Pardon me, losing my voice.
Of course, but yeah. But that, again, when you're getting used to something, I mean, something like that, especially when it's from an official, should be run through upper management. Hey, I'm going to let people know about this. That is not something he should be taking onto his own back and doing anyway.
I feel like
I think that's
it's possible that they told him to tell him. It's possible that they gave him the task and he just didn't disseminate the information in a fashion that was
but
gentle.
That's it. And as you said, 240 characters. There's no way you can get something of that importance out to the community properly and such. So it is a disappointment, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Right on. Let's see here. Unless there's anything else, I will continue along here with the mobile dev diary, which was not exactly pulling any punches as far as making excitement for mobile, as far as I'm gonna say. So anyway, let me get in here. I might need some help reading this because I feel my voice going. It's getting a little hot in here. All right.
Do you want me to take it? Do you want me to do this one and you can have a rest and take the next one?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Yep. Okay. Mobile Dev Blog Christmas 18. It's been a while since we've talked about RS Mobile, the beta, and where we're going with it in the future. Apologies for the long silence, but we want to make sure we had enough time to look at the feedback we've been getting from the beta and other sources before hammering out a longer-term plan and letting everyone know about it. What we've done since opening the beta. Since the beta opened, we've been poring over feedback and reacting to it. This might have slid by in the patch notes and not been as visible as it could have been, so I'm going to list a few of the big features and bug fixes we've put out so far. NPC Chat Overhaul made it look better, better use of screen space, larger tap areas for increased ease of use. So they have a couple of pictures there, so, and just shows it opening up and making it a lot better there. They've improved game world picking, made it easy to tap on things in the game world, fixed bank pin double tap issue, tweaks to first time user setup, made it now defaults to a more conservative graphical settings for better performance, changed how the action bar and TLI are drawn on the screen for a performance improvement, visual confirmation of tap in game world, helps the player to see what they have tapped on. Many memory usage improvements, increased performance, lower crash rates, improved switching action bars by adding button selection, more intuitive to use than swipes. Refinement of general interaction thresholds, tap, swipe, drag, and hold interactions have all been improved. They've improved stat globe artwork to make it more readable. Slight improvements to layout of bank interface, more effective use of the screen space. Prompt to update apps when out of date. Now, these are selections of things that we've done, but there have also been a ton of other fixes under the hood to improve performance, many quality of life fixes that make certain interfaces in the game work better on mobile. I'll stop it there for a moment. We'll get into the next part in a sec. Is there anything there that people want to talk about and sort of, Mage, you've got it, so you're sort of,
it's definitely easier to tap on things now. I have no issue entering or tapping on anything now. Like, as far as entering like little portals or tapping on my bank pin, tapping on things on the ground, I really don't misclick most things anymore. I've noticed it's been a little more laggy loading into areas, though. Like, I've taken a performance hit since the latest update. So whatever they've done has definitely taken a little more juice out of my phone. Like, a 2-hour play session takes a lot more battery now. So that's noticeable, but it's definitely more responsive to my inputs and whatever. Like, it's the game is more snappy and it plays smoother when I'm in an area, but loading into a new area is harder on my phone. The phone gets hotter and drains my battery faster.
Okay. And you, just for everyone to know, who Major's got an LG.
Yeah, I'm running
an American.
Yep, I'm running an LG V30, which is that's an American region locked phone.
Yep. So, so that's it there. Vega, do you have the mobile at all, or?
I do. I've got the iPhone X, which is, I believe, it was the newest one until recently, I think.
Oh, so you don't have the RS3 beta on it, though, obviously.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I have played the old school one, but not the beta.
This they're talking about the just for the RS3 one here. So we all know the old school one works well. It's brought in a hell of a lot of new players, and we'll get into that.
We'll get your opinion on that one at the 5 million download mark. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, what they're working on right now. Another big thing that came from the beta and user experience tests we've done with players in the office is that even to high-level experienced players, the UI can be a bit daunting. So we're working on a way to simplify and restructure the UI so that the things the players absolutely need are available with as few taps as possible, and that deeper detail can be accessed in an intuitive fashion. In addition to looking at the experience of you folks who already play regularly, we've been looking at the new player experience too. The launch of Old School Mobile has proven that this is a great opportunity to attract new players to RuneScape via mobile, so we want to make the most of this when we get the full release. With that in mind, we're planning an early game overhaul, starting with a tutorial and continuing on into the first few hours of gameplay. One of the biggest problems we're going to solve is helping new players with no previous experience get to grips with the game. RuneScape can be a daunting place to be dropped into, and in the past, we focused solely on that first 10 to 20 minutes of tutorial. Whilst this helped players very early on, too many people got out of the tutorial and were overwhelmed by the depth and breadth of gameplay on offer. They get frustrated, confused, and ultimately don't return to the game. The general idea is to provide a little more direction and help for new players after the tutorial, gently leading them through the diversity of gameplay that exists and slowly removing the training wheels as they come to understand the game and learn how to set their own objectives and explore the game in ways they want to. This isn't going to be a quick process. It's going to take us a fair amount of time and testing to get that early game ready for the horde of new players we want to attract and give us the best chance of turning them into true RuneScapers. We want to make sure that the game gets a healthy, positive lift that will ensure Gielinor is a busy, thriving place for years to come. Again, I'll stop it there. I think they've touched on some really important aspects on this, in that the UI, even now, I mean, the UI isn't really intuitive. And, you know, this is from an experienced player, as we listen to Magebit die there.
Sorry. For you, Hampshire.
Yeah, so but basically they're the UI, as I was saying earlier, Old School is perfectly suited to mobile. It's a very simplified version with all with what you have on the screen. Mm-hmm. So many different interfaces and such that we have in this game, and it can be overwhelming. I mean, even now, I was looking for something the other day, and it took me 7 or 8 minutes to try and work out. I was doing the Traherne hour, and I accidentally logged onto a legacy world, and to try and get the other one, you know, the proper screen back. I just, I just couldn't find where it was, trying to find and get it to the right spot, and it took me a little while to find all that. So they do really need to look at simplifying that and overhauling that, and I hope they bring that, whatever they do there, they bring it into obviously the desktop game as well, because the thing is, what they look at changing on here, they need to make sure it correlates with the desktop as well, because there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be switching between desktop and mobile. You're not going to have just people who are 100% mobile, just people who are going to be 100% desktop. I mean, the whole idea of it is, to give you that sort of, where you can switch between the two comfortably, and you want to be able to make sure that your interface isn't too different. The other thing I wanted to bring up there is the early game content overhaul. We were just laughing about that, sort of 5 minutes ago, but how they're trying to race everyone and all the high-end content and such. Yeah, and they have really left a lot of that sort of early game content stale and sort of falling obsolete. And as you're now going to be bringing in all these new players, you need to make sure it's nice and fresh and a good experience for them. We're seeing with mining and smithing what they're doing there. A lot of that early game content is being overhauled, and it's going to be better there. But it's not just there that they need to look at. And this sort of handhold or training wheels, as they say, I think in that sort of first couple of hours is going to be very helpful and is really needed for RS3. Simply because, as we said, the game is 18 years old. There is such a large amount, and there's not like, you don't choose, I'm going to be an elf and I'm going to travel this direction. I'm going to be a farmer and I'm going to travel this direction. You're an adventurer and you can do all of the 27 skills in there.
Speaking of an adventure, a new challenger has arrived, just to announce that Hannah has joined us. But continue.
Hello, Hannah.
Yep, I said something in the middle of that, but you might not notice. It was just a quick sentence.
Oh, I know, I didn't. Sorry. So yeah, that's it. And As I said, it's not going to be a quick process. It is going to take them time, and that's where they go into the cap. I'll just read this last bit, and then we'll go into the other bit. It's what about the members cap, you ask? We're taking our time before we invite more people in. This is so we can work on the UI overhaul and get it into the right place before we show it to a new group of players. I hope the wait is I know the wait is kind of frustrating, but it really is best to hold back the cap increase to ensure that when we do have the UI overhaul in place, we have a large mass of players fresh to mobile to give us their impressions of it, as well as compare the current beta participants' experience against the old UI. Rest assured that as we get nearer the goal, we'll start being a little more talkative about what is happening. Now, that obviously means also that sort of us Apple players are going to probably not have it when they said early 2019. We're probably looking more, later this quarter, early next quarter, I would say.
Sorry, I'm PMing someone.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I need to get that done. I need it. There was like a 1% of me that was tempted to buy an Android phone just so I could.
I've been looking at the Google Pixel 3 for that very reason.
Yeah.
Don't actually do it, but it's tempting.
I'm terribly sorry for coughing in the middle of your expose earlier there.
Were you hitting weed or are you sick?
I was hitting weed. I was abusing it.
Hitting weed. Well, I deserve my weed card revoked for saying it that way.
Hampshire redeemed some mage bucks, and I had to. I mean, that's the law. So. Yeah, there's injectors that you can get on Amazon specifically for your tooth, but they go inside and you inject it into your tooth. Oh. Yeah, but it goes.
I chipped a tooth, and Magebit and I are talking about it in private chat.
Yeah, so that might have sounded weird. Sorry.
I called off work because I have a chipped tooth and it hurts like a lot today. So I was like, I'm not going to work and trying to.
Morning, Death Star.
This. So here I am on the podcast.
And. Yes. And we are now in the middle of a Runescape Weekly that is now Dutchy-scape. Yeah, it's a little ruined, but we'll be all right. We have Pyrnassius. He's now the designated host. Let's see here. Is the mobile dev diary complete?
That is a mobile dev diary. So yeah, is there anything else anyone wants to sort of mention about it, or
I'm more than happy. I mean, I'm concerned about the fact that they didn't mention any dates at all for new players being added to the cap for Android.
Yeah,
summer 2019.
Well, that's what they said. When they're saying they'll let us know down in the future, but until they get that UI overhaul done, they're not going to let us know on the cap.
Yeah, so I'm concerned about that.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned about no dates on the on Apple. There's no notification on an Apple date, which I know is still like we're hoping for Q1, which like is like February or March. But still, I was hoping for like maybe a date, but still nothing.
The only encouraging part is that they know they need to overhaul the UI again because they've already done like some work. So like I don't know. Hopefully they actually make a good mobile UI. This time round.
Poor Bladecom never got the invite and went to RuneFest. That sucks.
Whoa.
Actually, I wonder, can I pass mine on?
Yeah, if you want to give away your Google account.
Oh, okay, no, forget it. I thought it was just a code number.
No.
Give it to him to... Okay, forget it.
What I don't like is when you register for mobile now, this site, it won't load anymore. So bad for new people. Well, you know what I think's funny? If you go to the supports, I was going to the support center because I get comments now all the time on where scammers and hackers like the Twitch video. Because people, that's like the most common thing that people get scammed on now. Anyway, in the support center, the top support center thing is "Dude, where's my stats?" which I think is hilarious.
Nice.
Anyway,
just to give you a breakdown, I've just finished my hour at the Spiritual Mages, 4.6 mil.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Are you finally learning the thing I told you to do 3 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. I was just telling Mage about because to go and use.
Everyone's still trying to convince me to do the thing.
Well, so I was killing spiritual mages like 3 years ago on the show.
Yeah.
It was like as soon as I got,
they're
like
great money. That's why I've got him in my in my dungeon.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I know.
really good money.
And I'm trying to. I really once I'm 200 million melee, I'm gonna move on to those because I need to get 200 million ranged. You see how my brain works?
Do it.
That's how my brain works. You enter. Oh, if you enter your email, will not load past that point. That sucks. That's stupid. Jagex's website needs to be better.
But yeah, so that's our news on mobile. So it's again, they are in it for the long haul. It's not going to be, unfortunately, it's not going to be a quick fix for us and such. But fingers crossed, we'll get there in sooner rather than later.
Soon. I'm excited for this next article. This next
Yes.
article is awesome. I burned the shit out of my throat, but I really want to try to read this next article. Because it's probably the best news we have gotten in literally a decade. Even though it probably has nothing to do with RuneScape 3, I'm going to take credit for it anyway. Jagex celebrates 18 years of RuneScape at an all-time high. Friday the 4th, which is when this article came out, obviously. But Jagex has revealed today that on its 18th birthday, the RuneScape franchise reached an all-time high, soaring above the previous 2008 peak, following the expansion onto mobile. Now, that's the thing, that's what they say here, is this following the expansion onto mobile. And that's the thing, is the only official expansion onto mobile is old school, right?
Yep.
So, that's the thing. So, the successful launch of old school RuneScape on mobile and the early testing of RuneScape on mobile has boosted subscriber levels over the 1 million mark. During its strongest year to date, Jagex achieved a number of significant milestones. Pern, would you like to read those milestones for me?
Okay. More than 5 million installs of OSRS on iOS and Android since launch. The RuneScape franchise achieved the highest ever paid membership total in its history over the Christmas period, surpassing previous records set in 2008. Cumulative lifetime revenue for the RuneScape franchise passed $1 billion.
Wow.
That's
That's
billion people. Monthly active users more than doubled over the year with big gains in the last quarter. Highest ever attendance for annual player convention at RuneFest, and more than 100 new hires were added to the Jagex team.
A lot of info in those bullet points there. So let's stop there for a minute.
Yep.
So first line there, more than 5 million installs.
Yep. And I think that is more than they were actually expecting themselves. Which I think is part of the reason they may be delaying sort of the RS3 one, because they want to make sure they have it right when, if they're going to get sort of close to that number again, they want to, again, retain those people, turn them into members. And that was one thing that, I was sort of, I was, probably not on their side about with it's all well and good having all these people, but how many are paying membership? Well, that tells us right there. A lot of those people have obviously signed up. They've played it. They've enjoyed it, and hopefully a lot of them took advantage of the Premier Club, and they've signed up for a full year. And
Yeah, you hope so.
I have a friend at the place I work who just got promoted to like assistant supervisor, so he's moving stores. But he used to play RuneScape in like 2006, so he always makes 2006 level of RuneScape jokes to me. Like last night he was talking about gold trimmed black armor, just randomly.
Classic.
So, yeah, well, but so it brought up the conversation of RuneScape at work, and everyone's like, I played that game when I was a kid, but everyone knows about old school, but no one has any interest in RS. I don't know how they get like over that hump. Like literally everyone was like, isn't there like a retro version of the game? Like why don't you play that one? It's like literally everyone's question at work. It was amazing.
Hopefully that after they get bored of the retro one, they want something more modern. Nostalgia
Hopefully.
only lasts so long?
We hope so.
But these people like aren't people who play video games, but they all knew old school RuneScape on mobile. And
Oh, it's advertised
RS.
everywhere. My son's
Yeah.
seen, and they're not advertising it as old school. My son's been getting the things, and it's RS, RuneScape Mobile, and it's all promoting that. But yeah,
Oh, I
It's
really burned my throat.
very-
Dang it. Can I
very
can
interesting
I
times.
eat aloe? Is that a thing?
I wouldn't.
Oh, where are we? Yeah, okay. The RuneScape franchise has achieved the highest paid membership total in the history over the Christmas period. So that apparently that means Premier Club has done the best it's ever done ever. In ever. I mean that's
hopefully it is most of that is Premier Club where they are getting those people signing up for the year. Because if that's the case, that is over and above what we needed them to do.
Yeah. Also, I mean, highest attendance at RuneFest. People were talking about how sparse RuneFest looked and how pathetic it was this year. Shut up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Almost
it
like
was
that's
in
what
a
happens when you move into a bigger venue.
I know.
exactly. Yeah, I had a chuckle about that.
I
one.
know. People are just like, it's bigger on the inside. I don't know. Would anyone like to read on for me? As I'm still dealing with a scorched uvula.
Let me just turn my prayer on so I don't die. Okay. Phil Mansell, CEO Jagex, said 2018 was a fantastic year for our RuneScape games, which have truly come of age. The franchise has been growing consistently for 5 years, and we've seen a surge of further community growth with the move to mobile. Old School RuneScape's successful mobile launch was made possible by our incredible team who have been able to make this classic game play smoothly in a mobile form factor, and which allows players to enjoy the convenience of completely interoperable PC to mobile crossplay. This achievement showcases our living games philosophy, bringing deeply engaging community experiences to players wherever they are. We find that the more we listen to, engage with, and empower the community, the more it fosters a true connection with each other and with the games. The big increases we've seen in both membership and active users shows that we're not only able to bring new players into RuneScape, but we're able to offer the kind of rich, evergreen content that keeps them engaged for the long term. With this success, we've continued to increase investment levels to expand our games, as well as bringing in a slate of hugely talented people to join us in development, technology, and publishing. Industry veterans Nick Beliaf, SVP Development, and Rob Cordio, VP Technology, were added to the Jagex executive team in 2018 and will continue to build their departments in 2019. That will be focused on delivering more great content to RuneScape and OSRS players, further improving the gaming experience and expanding Jagex into new areas.
All right, well, looks like we're taking on some new sea levels.
John Burns, SVP Publishing at Jagex, said a number of initiatives mark for us in 2018, and we'll be using all of our learnings from these activities to deliver even more this year. Our ongoing commitment to delivering bigger and better content begins this week with the first of 3 significant old school RuneScape content updates. Kebos Lowlands. We continue to work on developing RuneScape on mobile, and a number of other exciting plans are in the works. Coupled with the strides we're making with Jagex partners, 2019 looks set to be another great year for the company. Jagex Partners, which will deliver live game publishing and operational services tailored specifically to the needs of third-party studios, was launched in 2018. Development also continues on internal projects, including the mobile version of RuneScape, which will soon join OSRS on iOS and Android devices. The game is currently in early testing. One membership subscription gains players access to expanded features and content in both flavors of RuneScape. More news about Jagex Partners and the mobile versions of RuneScape will be released soon. So there you go.
Thank you very much. I mean, again, I still think this is the best news we've had in a decade.
Yep. And to hit that, to have 5 million downloads and have the highest number, I mean, that shows the success of it. If you have converted those players to members, you've succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they handed out that like 2-week free trial to a lot of I believe to a lot of mobile players. I haven't played any of old school RuneScape Mobile, so please, now's the time to talk about old school RuneScape Mobile. I think we have one article about it, maybe.
Yep. And Vega plays. So, do you want to jump in with anything there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really play extensively on it. I'll run around small little tasks like wood cutting or things of that nature at work.
How's the interface?
It works great. Like I said, I kind of have a higher end iPhone, so it works perfectly on my phone. I was actually very impressed with how smooth it runs. Like Hannah kind of said, most people just think that is the RuneScape game. When you say RS3, nobody knows what you're talking about. But yeah, people around my age, I'm 25, everybody that I work with, they all have it on their phone, just kind of messing around with it at work just for fun and whatnot. I haven't yet met anybody who actually uses old school mobile seriously, but it's more of just that quick nostalgia fix, if you will. But as for how it runs, man, I was very impressed.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I personally have it installed on my phone, but I have not opened it once, which I put it on there. I don't know why I haven't opened it. It's nothing personal. I wanted to install it to show my support, and then
yeah, same here. I kind of just open it up sometimes just to show it off, just be like, oh yeah, you remember RuneScape? Look at this, it's on the phone now.
Nightel saying I find RuneScape 3 Mobile is difficult to play compared to OSRS Mobile. RuneScape 3 Mobile can be a little hard to play, depending on.
And that's what they're talking about in the previous article. Why they're withholding adding more people to it until they sort of work out that side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, OSRS. It was made for mobile, really. Is what it feels like.
RuneScape 3 has a lot more to it, and it's hard to kind of.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. It's hard
to simplify that.
Maybe on an iPad or something, but on a phone,
right?
It's gonna be tough, man.
I put OSRS on my iPad in. Because I was expecting my settlement to come through sort of earlier, so I wanted to get membership on both my accounts again. I was going to get back into that Iron Man account on RS3, but just use it solely as my old school account now. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but yeah, I'm the same. I haven't actually tried it myself.
Yeah. Like agility courses are very simple on it, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I love the rooftop agility. That was fun.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk comp cape rework?
That's all you guys.
Me.
I want to talk comp cape rework. You don't want yeah, Vega's like, I don't give a crap about the comp cape. He's not even at max cape, huh?
Yeah.
I don't have a max cape either, and I care.
Hey, I definitely care. I just won't have much input on it, I don't feel like.
Anyway, pardon, I had to swallow some water there. Every time I can only get a few sentences out before my throat feels like fire. Thanks, Hampshire. So there's a lot going on, obviously, with the comp cape right now, and I have some images for the frequently asked questions, I believe, in Evernote, right? Evernote.
No, there's nothing there yet.
No, it's in show topics.
It's in topics. Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't figured out how to actually link within Evernote yet. But I know it's possible. I'm afraid to break it, so I haven't done it yet. But yeah, so there's like a frequently asked question from Mod Jack here, where it's. He just is like, will I lose my comp cape after the rework? TLDR, probably not. If you're worried about losing best in slot stats, benefits, probably not. I can't see us adding a bunch of missing recs for the existing content that got skipped to the comp or trim.
Master Cape. Master Quest Cape, I should say.
I gotcha. Without the approval of the comp community, given that according to the proposal, you should be able to get best in stats benefits from other capes, I think that the community up for the proposal of the comp for the completionism rather than the comp for stats would comply, probably want more recs adding. So there's just like a whole bullet point list here of frequently asked questions. But let's talk comp rework. Like, what would we want versus what would we not want? Is there any specifics here that would be deal breakers for people here? I mean, I don't hold a comp cape, and the idea of a rework here makes me kind of interested in getting the comp cape, first of all. Just knowing that it's going away kind of interests me. That doesn't intrigue anybody else, no?
Well, I mean, I've had the comp cape, and I am obviously a Solak kill away from getting it back. I mean, it's a great cape. Some of the things that you needed for it were strange. Yeah, and as Hannah's always said, the name Comcape for this is a really bad name. Comcape should be basically a pure cosmetic cape, and they should have an actual best in slots combat cape, which has basically the same things, but without a lot of those things that you had to do on there. I'm just having a quick look. I mean, things like Taskmaster you should have. All quests completed should definitely be on there. But, I'm not sure what you would really want to remove from comp. Because comp does mean that you have done everything in game. I mean, that's what completionist stands for. So, I'd like to know more of what they're talking about before I sort of make any judgments or sort of real comments on what they're looking at personally.
So let's see here. Tentative proposal and feedback and discussion. We add more capes which are accessible than comp. See, I like the idea of like rune score and stuff tying into comp more so than just random shit around the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to constantly drink water every other sentence.
No, that's okay. It's just, it's... I'm not sure what, I'm having a look down what, all... I mean, you need to complete all the Arc stuff. I mean, that is completionist. I don't really know... I mean, Hannah will have a lot of... Oh, Hannah's gone.
Hopping in and out, I think.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, Hannah's probably got more what she wants to know. It's got the Master Quest, though. I think they should have the Master Quest cape, but more on the trimmed rather than that. But I'll hand it over to Hannah. She's back now, so we'll get her thoughts on it.
Yeah, Hannah, go.
Really, I think... I can't think of any comp recs that I think need changed. I definitely think it needs to be more cosmetic and have like more requirements. But I think trim needs certain ones removed. Like I think the comp cape, like if content is multiplayer and unplayable, then I think stuff should be removed, which means like Castle Wars, which is kind of controversial. But I think like adding more stuff to trim and like removing that would be a good thing because no one can play that game for real anymore.
But that's it. Would you, if they made the profound armor more useful, would rather than removing it, but making the stuff that's from it that
nobody would play it. Cool? People would just AFK it still. There's no solution to.
Yeah.
that
Move it to
unless
mobile.
you like redesign Castle Wars to be un-AFKable.
Yeah. Well, which they should do, and you've got to earn a certain amount of points and do a certain amount of stuff in the time you're in there. But yeah. But again, I'm having a look over this. It's mainly, I think more of the requirements that people complain about are on the trimmed requirement, which gives you no extra bonuses. So the only thing I said myself was sort of the Slayer, sorry, the boss side of things with team bosses. But even then, I mean, you still need to experience it. A comp cape is yeah. I would like to see you need to do all solo bosses, but yeah, it's a difficult one to say.
A Reaper cape with like a trimmed version, or I don't know, for like a final boss cape and then an IFB cape, and then you have IFB cape be best in slot. Maybe that's too much RNG.
Yeah, I was going to say that's way too much RNG for best in slot cape, though.
Is it? That'd be good.
But I mean, we'll keep posted on this and see what is going to come out, what they're talking about. That's what I want. I want to see what they want, what they're going to talk about and things. Yeah. Oh, of course it is, and that's it. And as I said, I would far prefer they rename or they make the comp cape purely cosmetic, and they split up these things, and we have an actual Reaper cape, an actual Skiller's cape, like the Master Quest cape, where we've got the separate one there. Just have a few of those different type of things there, and then if you have them all, then you can have the comp cape, but it is a purely cosmetic override.
Yeah, it almost sounds like breaking down those things into like categories.
Categories, exactly.
Yeah, and then adding actual perks to those categories, and then maybe uniting them all. Might
because like a Reaper, a Reaper cape. I mean, doing rebuilding the Rhiannon statues and that type of thing. I mean, that's not really necessary for a best in slot combat cape. But right. Slayer Master and Reaper Crew and all those type of things, definitely, they should be done for best in slot capes. It's really hard to sort of go through until we see an actual document on what they're looking at, what people are asking for. It's hard to have a real discussion on the comp cape itself. On the trim comp cape, we can certainly go through that and say, there's a hell of a lot of stuff on there that needs to be taken.
Yeah, and I mean, trimmed is like just silly. A lot of trimmed requirements just need to be incinerated.
Because it's content that it just doesn't. I mean, you're encouraging with Castle Wars. You're encouraging sit idle for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and they're off playing a different type of a different game. They're over playing something else. I mean, that's just stupid.
Yeah,
that is not good game content. If your players are sitting there AFKing 20 minutes at a time, all day, every day for 30 days, there's something definitely wrong, and that's what you need to look at changing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll be in that forum making notes on it. Basically, as it develops, so we'll have a better idea and not just be like, I don't know what the hell's going on in there. That forum just kind of
that's it.
It just kind of existed all of a sudden over the past week or two. But I will be keeping an eye on that and pulling out the good stuff. And I'm sure actual discussions will be popping up on Reddit as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, what do we got? Anything else in the show notes here? Now that I'm kind of coming out of my fog here.
We have which of these updates are scrapped or in the works?
Oh yeah, let's do that. And then I got one fluff piece for the end of the show that I forgot to put in there. So here's a bunch of previously announced updates. This is just for.
I sent this piece to you.
Yeah, this is just for the lols here. We can just go through these and just have a laugh. And just be like, come on. Or be like, hey, was that even a good idea? All right, so first off, let's see. We got, or maybe we have something similar and maybe something else took its place. So first off, we have the farming code rework that included a farming timer.
Now, they did say the farming timer was impossible to do because of the rate and such, and they did come out and say, listen, we tried it, it couldn't be done.
There you go. Filling 99 to 120 Slayer.
They've done that slowly. Again, you can't. I don't want all that content thrown in all at once. It's good to have those spots there to fill out. We've had actually we've had nothing in the 99 to 1. I was going to say we had the. I was going to say we had the
Gemstone Dragons,
but they were out before actually 120 was there.
Oh, okay.
They really, because you had to have those pies. I was going to say the Demonheim creatures that
we're
the
getting
Seekers and that,
all
but
right.
they're 99 and 77.
Okay. Well,
but again,
we're getting eventually, and again, it's on the list coming up next. Abyssal Slayer monsters, they're coming.
Yes,
eventually.
they are coming.
Someday.
The Grove.
Yep, and hopefully they will be. Oh yeah, sorry, the Grove crew. There you go.
Are those over?
They have them.
Oh yeah.
They're all over 120.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
over
go.
99. Yeah. So there you go. We did get some.
Some raids too. I mean, we kind of got Elite Dungeons. That's kind of
It got canceled
And
long ago. They said never happening. They didn't say ever never happening, but they said not happening for a long time.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not.
they are going to do it, but not at this stage. They said they will look at it, but in the
unfinished
future.
product if they canceled it. It's
Yeah.
silly
Exactly.
person.
Yeah.
Floor 61.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's what's the point in it now? That was going to be Zamorak's hideout. That's
Alt 1. There you go. Yeah, just
Alt
use
1
Alt
now.
1. It's good enough. What?
Don't use Alt 1. Cheating.
Fossil Island.
Again, it may still happen.
Could still happen.
They've done it now over in, and
So
it's not on the cards. It's shelved.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say scrapped. I would say Fossil Island shelved.
Elite Slayer mob drop table.
They did a few of those. Not a whole lot. Not good.
Hostilius, RuneScape's hardest boss, designed for a mass of players with 3 levels of difficulty.
They're still looking at that. They discussed that again, not being worked on, but something that is still in the backlogs.
Sears Village graphical rework. Didn't that get scrapped because it doesn't look good anymore?
Yeah, well, they actually had it done, but then they didn't release it because it wasn't. I don't know.
Tools.
Yeah.
They're switching to like Maya
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. They have new tools now. Let's see. Karamja graphical rework, same deal, I think, or it just never happened.
Never happened. It was just talked about.
Just talked
Yeah.
about.
They said maybe we could steal like assets from other already reworked areas and do a lazy one. But then they never did it because I think the community didn't want the lazy one, from what I remember.
Yeah, well, that's if they're going to do a graphical rework, I want some content and some sort of reason to go there.
That's
and
what
enjoy
I
it.
said. Let's see.
Not
here.
even just content for me, but like not reused assets.
Yeah, I
don't mind reused assets personally.
I don't mind
but
mixed reuse assets. I want a few new assets. Like, well,
Yes.
you know how there's like they're unique
there's
to
no place
Karamja.
like that. There's no place like Karamja that you can take from. Like, obviously you can reuse like Lumbridge. I think rework worked well with reused assets.
Yeah, and well, here you could use some of the Eastern Lands assets, but you couldn't use all of them because there's some unique flora on Karamja that just doesn't exist in the Ark, unless you're just gonna delete that. And then if that's what you're gonna do, you could also take some from whatchamacallit, Mazcab as well. There's a lot of really nice tropical flora there, but again, I don't want you deleting the
Alien planet.
I know, exactly.
Karamja looks like Mazcab.
It would be an alien planet, exactly. I don't want you taking all like art from an alien planet and using that exactly. So you need to be careful to preserve the natural beauty, of Karamja. I want to see the Venus flytraps. I want the stupid scarabs and harpy swarms. Anyway, the green stupid things with clubs. All right, where was I? Post
Dragon
fight.
graphical rework.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, post Fight Club.
Post Fight Club quest dialogue. I haven't even done those stupid quests
as
yet.
as a quester, yeah, great, but I mean that's not something that's really important. That's if someone wants to do that in their, I don't want devs taking time off proper developments for stuff like that.
Exactly.
And this is coming from a quester.
Yep.
That's if they want to do it on their Thursday afternoon thing. Well and good, but don't take time out of real game development.
Come and BladeCom, one of our most intelligent people in chat, most of these ideas, either like game jam, tab projects, or just ideas by JMods. These were never promised. Like these ideas were just like floated by the community, and this person has just been like, look at all these ideas that were like, they can't make anything they say. They're a failure as a company.
I know.
Anyway.
Congrats on that, Pern, on 2.5 billion.
On what?
Yeah, 2.5 billion total XP.
Where? Oh.
Inside of you.
That's you, man.
No, sorry, I didn't get the notification. There's other things.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Don't worry. Dragon graphical rework shown before ED2, said to be released alongside ED2. Alas, was not. Yeah,
they said they were gonna do like the framework.
Yeah, they made the rigging, which is available internally. They didn't like. Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's right. That's still being worked on. That is something that is actually still being worked on. But
Redistributing.
Did you want to delay the release of ED2 just because you want some graphical reworked dragons?
This person, they don't even know what they're talking about. Just enjoy Elite Dungeons 2 and don't worry about the freaking dragon model riggings that are behind the scenes. Redistributing bounty hunter rewards.
They're working on that.
Yeah, that's being worked on.
Yep.
We've seen that. They've actively shown us progress on that.
Yep.
Removing daily escape. That's not a thing. That's like
don't like it, don't do it. And as soon as they try to do one of the changes, everyone screamed at them.
You can't.
The first daily escape thing that they tried to change, everyone jumped up and down and cried.
You can't. I know you can't remove daily escape. Like you can.
Exactly.
You can only that's not a thing.
You can choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
You don't
exactly.
You do not have to do everything that's in the game on a daily basis if you don't want to.
But what Jagex has to do is just be careful to balance the game to not make it so daily things are so rewarding that you have to do daily things. That is the only way to play the game, right? That's what they have to just make sure is not the case, because there was a time when that kind of was like the best way to train every skill was to just do your dailies. And they've kind of realigned, I think, away from that. Like I remember, like all I did was like do my sandstone and do my caches. I was just hopping from daily to daily back in like 2012 or 13 or 14. I remember there was a time where I just did dailies all freaking day or something. It felt like, I don't know. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Anyway, you can't really remove daily escape. You just have to balance to make sure when you implement a new activity that when you add a daily activity that it is not extremely overpowered in relation to the rest of its activity. Group Iron Man,
we know about that. They've shelved that. Was the banking system and all that was for that to do. Couldn't get it working properly, so that's been shelved for now.
Yeah, Group Iron Man. I mean, I never thought that was a good use of time in the first place.
That's not really the point of Iron Man.
Exactly, right? I thought that was the stupidest idea they had.
Right? Yeah. It's like a paradoxical sentence.
Why don't just make an Iron Man clan,
It's like, I don't know. I'm always into like, quirky, unique ways to play the game. Like, go ahead, have fun with it. But like, do it on your own. Don't take dev time. Like, you can do that. You go play that and just pretend that that's how you're playing the game. Don't make Jagex make your own custom game mode.
Exactly.
Just play on YouTube. You don't need it to be real. I don't know. No, Group Iron Man.
The Iron Islands that once were turtle agility shortcut for clue scrolls. I had never heard of this one personally, and I don't really know where it needs a shortcut. You teleport to it. The portals are right there. You click on one, you go through to the next one. It takes all of 3 seconds to run from one end to the other. So I don't know what this agility shortcut was.
I don't know what I don't either. No clue.
Mm.
I don't remember. I remember the days of farming effigies. I was a skiller back then though, so I wasn't in on those, unfortunately. Group Iron Man is a project that will be pushed because it benefits both games and uses a lot of the same engine work. Why does it benefit both games? Because it uses the same engine work, I'm guessing. Answered my own question. Dragon Graphical Rework. Well, I just looked. I'm looking at the wrong. Scroll down a little bit there, Magebit. This is a long
Storm
list.
of Armadyl buff?
Yeah, Storm of Armadyl buff is what I was looking at.
Again, I think that that'll probably be looked at when they're doing all the other weapons changes.
Maybe.
So they'll probably look at that at the same time, most likely.
Ability to move furniture and play our own house. Again, I think we need a complete construction rework.
Well, they said because of Java and NXT engine, they just couldn't get it working properly with both systems running.
Oh yeah, Java needs
so
to
they
die.
have shelved that. Yep.
Oh, is it? Did they still say it was? How much was it we on Java? Is it under 5% or is it still?
I think it was 90% now are on NXT. Over 90%.
Over 90.
So, yeah.
All right, we still need to crush that like 8% though.
Yep.
Dissidents. Quick chat current XP. That would be amazing. That needs to be a thing. I'm actually like, why isn't that a thing?
And that's something Shawnee could probably look at. Well, yeah, he's been doing a lot of project
for their
things.
content creators. Yeah, gotcha. More views into the game. More maybe new players, possibly. If it could bring new players,
of fights, a lot of people saying he scammed me, he stole all our stuff, he converted our accounts and took all our bank, he dropped all our bank. Can you imagine that your group Iron Man?
It's going to make so much drama.
Oh yeah, you're going to have one member who cracks the shits with everyone. He's just going to go and empty the bank and just drop it. Go out of the wilderness and just empty everything.
Oh
on
yeah,
them.
Totally.
You're going to see that type of stuff, and then they're going to be trying to jack it. But I want my stuff back. He did this to us. You've got to give my stuff back to me. I'm going to quit the game because you won't fix it.
And that's going
to
make tons of drama videos on YouTube that are going to end up on Reddit. And and we're gonna end up covering them on here, and
it's like your real life TV shows.
It sucks, but at the same time, it's gonna make players play the game.
It's a car wreck, of course.
Yeah, so
people love car wrecks.
Yeah, what's up with that? We're horrible. My goodness. Okay, look, completionist Cape Rework's on the list.
Well, the examine text, they said that they would that if they get time. It's not a priority. It's not something that they said that they would do. They said they would look at it if they get time. So the next one, the Shattered Worlds.
I just want to say we would look at those examine texts too if we had time, but we can't because there's no examine text to look at.
But really, people look at it once and then move on.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't really. I mean, is
actually, I'm obsessive compulsive about examines, and I look at them like a lot.
Oh yeah, I like reading them all.
And like
still,
and then when they're not there, I'm right clicking on stuff looking for like examines to look at. But it's all right. I don't mind if they're not there. I right click on players too, just to read names a lot.
Well, that's you just reminded me. I want to give a welcome to Yubi out there who examined the podcast name on there.
Yeah,
he'd never actually heard. He'd never even thought there would be RuneScape podcasts out there, and was really happy to sort of hear that there was one and was going to check us out on YouTube. Now, Yubi, if you are out there, check out Magebit's webpage because I know you didn't like iTunes, but there are a lot of other podcast aggregates out there that you can use. So there'll be a whole list of them there. You can sort of click on and use. We're on all those. So sorry, little ad in the middle there, but I just wanted to. That was on Friday. I wanted to get that out. So
that's sweet. Yeah, cool. Yeah, hopefully he made it an hour and a half into this show because.
Well, no, he'll be sort of he plays on in the background. He said,
Sweet.
"Now Shattered Worlds further updates, new objectives, high score, mini bosses." Again, it was something that was sort of discussed. I don't think they ever actually said that it was something that they were, going to be working on. It was something they were going to look into. And that, again, can still happen in the future. But there's just the problem is there is so much going on at the moment with everything else. It's hard to sort of. This is a big list, and we've tied up so much time with mobile and such, which has delayed a lot of other projects. And these are obviously some of the projects that got caught in there. It doesn't mean that they're never going to happen.
No, of course not. I mean, that's the thing, is this is a creative project. Things get tapped on when there's the passion for them. Ideas exist in the form of a cloud, and they're reached and grabbed when the time is right, when we have the passion and the resources necessary. Like I said, I just pointed and laughed because Completionist Cape Rework is on the list of this, things are, the stuff that's not done, but the time was right. We just finished the mining and smithing rework, so they just happened to choose Comp Cape Rework because that's what's on the mind of players right now, and that's just it. Just happened to be the time, so they picked that out of the big bubble, and that's what we're working on. So shut up.
The next one was one that was sort of close to my heart. I really wanted to see them do. It was the Brimhaven high-level agility arena. I really enjoy the Brimhaven agility arena, but it just looks so old, and obviously it's for low level. But to make a high-level version of that, like they did with the Gnome agility course and the Barbarian agility course, it'd be really interesting to see, and hopefully that is one that they will sort of look at bringing in the future as well.
Yeah, I would love to see. I want to see agility courses all over the game. Did I interrupt someone there?
Yeah.
I want to see agility courses all over the game. And I want to see
different ones, different things, not just the same, thing over and over. Have different things. Like that was the beauty of the Brimhaven agility, was it was different. You've got to jump over things, you've got to duck out of arrows ways. It was different things.
I almost want to go back and do that just for fun, and then I remember just how dated it is. It would be nice to see it brought up to date.
It's dated, but I did it. One of the objectives was down there, and that's it. I went down there and did it all, and I had a lot of fun. But, unfortunately, it's just not worth it because it's, it is so low level. But it's something that we need to do for...
Yeah, that's interesting.
Wishing Well Fruit Buff. Again, something that they were going to look... Sorry, was someone saying something there?
I was just going to add, maybe if they found out a way to add tiers to agility courses, where... once you hit a certain level, there's a certain way you could unlock a way where it would give you more experience for those courses that you prefer over others.
That would be a cool perk for the agility cape. If you could prefer a course or something. Apparently,
choose your favorite course.
According to BladeCom, the agility cape perk doesn't work at the the agility course at Brimhaven. So a little side note, they should maybe fix that. But if you, for whatever reason, do enjoy that course, the no-fail obstacles does not work there.
Huh.
But the sure-footed aura does.
Good to know. Good to know.
Because I actually forgot about the cape and I used my sure-footed aura. I forgot all about the cape when I was doing it.
There you go. Well, good. Doesn't matter that you forgot about the cape because it wasn't going to help you.
Yeah. Wishing Well Fruit Buff.
Yeah, that thing sucks.
Yeah, it always has.
Check health, dig it up. Edgeville Monastery and Ice Mountain graphical update. Yeah. Oh, I would love to see Ice Mountain be truly best mountain.
Yeah. And again, they were talking about doing that, and it's a graphical update. So, unfortunately, people get upset when it's just a graphical update. It's not real content. It's one of those things that hopefully in the future, we will see it. But
I enjoy the Catherby graphical update every single time I do an herb run. Every single time.
It looks
It does look nice.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's a cozy little fishing town, and I love it. So anyone who
The
thinks,
desert updates, I love them. All the graphical.
yeah, Manifold is beautiful. The only thing about the desert rework that I question is why the hell they didn't like extend all the way through to soften them and like into the desert, because it's like it's so ugly out there. Oh, it's blinding. Anyway, make emote functionality. Yeah, the emote functionality in the game is bad. Real bad. I really want the ring, a centralized transmog interface for all those stupid rings we have.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And to be able to got them on.
I'm sorry, you broke up there. Say that again.
Be able to move because as soon as you take
yeah.
a step, you transfer back.
Yeah,
I'd love to be able to run around as Vanstrom or as one of the Barrows brothers. That'd be great for creating content. If you want to make video, make a little music video with the Barrows brothers. You can do something like that.
Improving shifting tombs, that is extremely high on my list. I've advocated for that plenty. I think shifting tombs is a fantastic minigame that just needs a little bit of love.
I hated it.
You hate it, huh? Why?
It was good. It's good for like about 20 minutes, and I just get so bored of it.
It's repetitive, but you make money. It's like dungeoneering that makes money, and there's no blank or puzzles.
Well, the Elite Dungeons 2 is
Elite Dungeon
money.
You're right. You're right. Oh, you're right. Okay, you got me there. Okay, moving along. Minigame hub. I think minigames. Yeah, we can make a minigame hub and then just flush them right down the toilet.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's minigames to an extent. Overall, are pretty much dead, with the exception of a couple. So again, why spend resources on doing something like that if it's really not going to be accepted by the players and it's not going to sort of bring value?
Yeah, I don't know. The only minigames that really are played, I mean, is it just to remove them from the overworld? Like, what's the point of a minigame hub?
That's it. We remove them from the overworld, put them all into one area, and go bang, click in there and go.
Like, don't even make a hub for them. Just give everyone, like, just make an interface. Just put a button in the interface, and it pops up like a lobby. Like, you don't even need. I don't know. I was like,
or that could kind of be with go along with the construction rework, like you were talking about. Give a reason for people to come to your player-owned house.
Yeah,
maybe
give yourself
like a team. You lobby inside of the team leader player-owned house.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, you can get your team together to like start up whatever game you want and then match make, and then that would be. They really need to redo the grouping system. Badly.
Well, that is something that they have talked about that they are going to look into in the future. Yeah,
they know.
Skilling offhands. This was one that was near and dear to my heart, which did get shelved and not being actively working on at the moment, but not scrapped, just shelved.
Yeah. Well, it's up on the tippity top up there with the group Iron Man somewhere. Multiple accounts under one login, that's never happening.
No.
That makes them too much money.
That's going to cost them money. Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to have 3 players running around together on the one rate, so I pay 1 membership for 3 players. No.
Unless it costs you $5 to unlock an additional slot.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the only thing I can think of.
One that I would like to see, though, is being able to log on to Old School and RS3 at the same time. That is something I'd love to see them do. But again, they can't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just that won't work with the system.
And again, there must be some sort of psychological disassociation between paying $11 on 2 separate accounts and paying $22 on one account. There must be. I don't know. Maybe there isn't, but to me, I feel a little better about. It's easier. I don't know.
Oh, so no. See, I really want membership for my Iron Man again and start playing some old school. But it was going to happen. I had it all set up for this year, and then bang, couldn't do it. Then thank you, insurance companies. But anyway,
insurance companies always keeping the man down.
That's it. Fixing a flurry of combat bugs with God Wars Dungeon hard mode bosses. Again, those bugs they fix as they go along. Bugs aren't easy to fix. They've got to find them. They've got to be able to replicate them. They will work on bugs when they find them and can do it straight away. But it's not something that can be done in 5 minutes.
No, definitely not. It'd be pretty cool if they could, because we'd have a really efficient game update system if they could.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Game world decluttering.
Yeah, game world decluttering. Again, this isn't high on my list of problems.
No.
Really more like fixing bugs.
Just make the actual world bigger. Just spread everything out. Like expand the map 25%, so there's a bigger gap between everything.
Right? I would love the game world to be massive again, or at least feel massive again.
Yeah, like running from Lumbridge to... I used to love that run from Lumbridge to Varrock, but, make it now take, 5 minutes.
Right?
Augmentable Catalyst Fragment. I hadn't heard of this one either, but that would be good for skillets.
All right. Talking about the Catalyst Fragment, this is going to be another one of my possible crusades for 2019. Forget about augmenting the Catalyst Fragment. I just want to be able to override the Catalyst Fragment with cosmetics.
The necklace.
No, cosmetics. It doesn't. You can't override it with a cosmetic, and it's so ugly. It should be able to override with a shield cosmetic, because it would look so cool with a shield cosmetic. And yes,
I was going to say that. Let's really look at it properly now, though. Who really uses that from that reward anymore? Now that you've got your it's only useful in Hunter though.
The freaking but it spawns the little Orby glow.
Yeah, but aren't you using your?
Still works in agility.
Oh, I suppose, yeah. Oh, no, I'm thinking of just the gathering skills.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Sorry, forget about me. Forget about me. I'm forgetting support skills.
Yeah, works in support and artisan.
Support skills. Yeah. Okay, shut up, Danny.
Yeah, it's okay. You're all right. It's been a long show. I say stupid shit all the time, buddy.
But what I would like to see them do is with if you're wearing your Luck of the Dwarves and your Grace of the Elves, and you equip the augmented catalyst or the catalyst fragment, the others should act as that. As those other two parts.
It should inherit. Yeah, it should inherit their abilities. I agree.
Yeah,
I think that was probably just
overlooked.
Yeah, an intentional oversight for time, and should probably be done in patches. Maybe not. Maybe maybe just an oversight in general. But I think it's something that should be patched in ninja-wise. I agree with you. Cool.
Gizmos visible when examining another player.
Why?
I mean, I suppose that's probably useful
in a
if
PvP
you're bossing.
situation. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to, if you want to know,
make sure what they're bringing in.
Yeah.
But again, that's just going to lead to even more elitism.
Yeah.
The bank rework. Well, we already know what's happening there. Skilling offhand, including a heroic elven item with associated lore and quest-like content. Well, again, that goes under that skilling offhands. Again, it's being shelved at the moment. It's not scrapped. It's just not being worked on at the moment because there's a lot of other things going on.
Yeah. And as far as Game Jam, there's no obligation for these things. I don't feel like we have an obligation to give any sort of reasoning towards the rest of this stuff.
These are things, if we can do it, we'll do it, and we'll let you know.
Yeah, so I think we've given enough to this post. There's really, I only have one more kind of like funny feel-good article to close this show
Actually,
with.
I just want to have a chuckle He's got down there Slayer Creature Resource Dungeon, 100 Dungeoneering Require, and Incense Burners. They are being worked on as we speak, and we should be seeing them. We should be seeing them in February, I believe they had slated for some of those, if they could.
Yeah, we're supposed to be wood cutting, I believe, or fire making. Yeah, they were talking about how fire making is finally going to get use.
Yes, the incense burners. I'm looking at that.
You know what? We didn't. No, never mind. Ow.
Am I still there?
Yeah, you're here.
Oh, sorry. Okay. you sort of cut yourself off mid-sentence. I thought, you dropped out.
All right, so I'm
happy with these other and shelved ones. The Church of You, I know that's one that you wanted. Gnome Finale. Again, I think they did sort of hint at wrapping up some more 5th Age quests this year, so that may be one of those there. Expansion 2 and Expansion 3. Well, we know the reason why they got canned, because people complained so much that there was no content in the lead up to Menafop. Okay, but yeah, he's got a lot of stuff there, but it's like we'll see what happens.
We will indeed. We will indeed. Well, I think that this has been a pretty good show for today.
Especially since we didn't have any updates from the game.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to have a massive update.
Oh.
I'm probably going to be live.
Are we going to do a live streaming?
Yeah. I'm probably going to be live tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. I'm going to do my best to be live. I'm going to do my absolute best. I know my aunt is leaving tomorrow, but the morning I should definitely have time to be live. So I will, again, I'll leave you a message on Discord to confirm.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have time in the early morning to probably, like we're doing about now, so, So I'll go ahead and read our last topic for the day, which is just kind of a fun one that I found from PC Gamer, because I'm an old school gamer. I come from the DOS days of PC gaming, back when you had to fire up your old rig, and all you'd see is just a black screen, and you had to give it something, a floppy disk, or type in a command. It didn't do anything. But anyway, we didn't have WASD as our standard, shooter setup. Pern, have you ever played a first-person shooter on a keyboard and mouse?
Nope.
So, that's the response I was hoping for. Vega, have you ever played a first-person shooter on a keyboard and mouse?
Yeah, I played Halo Combat Evolved.
Okay.
On the computer back in the day.
Okay. How old were you when you played Halo?
Combat Evolved on the PC, probably 13, 14.
Okay.
Give or take.
And were you using a WASD configuration?
I think so, actually.
Okay, yeah, because Halo was one of the first games to use WASD config.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked. So they would have, if you went through the tutorial and didn't just blindly pick a random config. Yeah, you would have. So this article is interesting to me, keeping in mind that WASD is the configuration here. Originally, games started with the arrow keys to move you around. So you would generally have your right hand on the mouse and your left hand on the arrow keys. And that just seemed to be whatever. I don't know. I'll let the article kind of take over from here, but that's generally how I grew up. And we transitioned from arrow keys to WASD. And I was in Wes Fenland's shoes, only I did not make his fatal mistake here, and I found it really, really interesting. So I wanted to pass his story along and wonder if anyone else had his issue. He says, last week I tossed a comment about my pinky into the PC Gamer Slack channel, and it was like I'd just walked into a room and mispronounced the word bagel. I'd said something so immediately obviously wrong to everyone, but to me, the most 5 dudes and 1 woman up in orbit right now, I'd probably felt the shockwave of the wrong reverberate through the International Space Station. Somehow, there were no casualties except my innocence. Until 5:34 p.m., I'd assumed I play PC games like a total normal person. Alright, so now we have a picture here of the Slack channel, and it says, Wes, do you not use Pinky on A? Evan replies, Wes. Steven says, oh my god. Evan, we need to talk. Bo, what? Steven says, I'm so happy I'm here for this. Evan, like... Bo says, I'm so confused. The article goes on and says, I do not. Okay, so look, here's the thing. Like most kids who grew up in the 90s, I mainly learned to type on PCs and Macs in keyboarding class. And to this day, I'm a home row typist. Around the same time I was learning to type, most games still defaulted to the arrow keys for movement. I definitely played Wolfenstein 3D with the arrow keys and rarely played other PC shooters until years later. That's basically where I picked up the habit as well. I was too busy with Command & Conquer and Warcraft. So whenever I got back around to games with WASD controls, it would have been Halo Combat Evolved around 2004. I did what my brain considered natural. I kept my fingers on the home row and moved my ring finger from S up to W. Walk forward and backward. This seemed perfectly normal, but, Evan replies and says, the fuck? Steven, no way. Wes, are you serious? Andy, I can tell that Wes' maneuver is weird, though. Steven says, that's fascinating if so. Here's how I play PC games, which I quickly coined the Wes maneuver. A is pinky, W and S is the ring finger, D is middle finger, R, F, C, etc. is handled by the index finger. I urge you to try this. It's extremely uncomfortable.
I'm trying it right now.
Yeah.
It's so awkward.
Try to do. It took me a long time to even figure out to make my hand do that. It was I hope this revelation hasn't caused you physical or mental pain. Honestly, I'm still reeling, not at the thought of doing it wrong, but because the great thing about PC gaming is we can customize our games however we want. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of water here. If you prefer to move with ESDF, that's perfectly fine. But if the event did not occur until thank you for the follow, unapologetic. But if it did not occur to you until last night, until Wednesday at 5:34 p.m., that anyone else would press WASD differently, then that's perfectly fine. And that's very true. My pinky goes where? If you asked me to guess how most people positioned their fingers on WASD, I'd have to totally be stumped. What else would even feel natural? My way is so obvious. As the rest of the team reacted to my heretical fingering, I had to Google around for what I was missing and found tons of photos like this. The pinky lives on shift.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to contort my hand into this position. At first, it felt freakish. I was tempting my fingers to stand at A, W, and D, but my brain still insisted the pinky belonged on A too. I had to shove it to slide like a dead limb. After a few tries, I realized the natural orientation was simply shifting over to the left and resting on A, S, and D. The middle finger moves up to the W when needed. That still feels madness to my 15 years of muscle memory, but I'll admit resting my pinky on shift does feel pretty great. It's like a vacation. My pinky gets to sprawl out on a spacious, less used key, and isn't responsible for strafing at pivotal moments. It's a lot of pressure moving left. No one on staff could remember how they learned to position their fingers for WASD, but the general consensus seemed to be that the pinky is weak and unfit for responsibility on an important movement key. Better to trust it with lower frequency actions like sprinting, crouching, they said. I don't even trust it with crouching, to be honest with you. I take the pinky and say, you are not to be trusted with crouching. I take crouching and rebind it to my mouse and give that ability or that responsibility to my right hand's index finger, because my left hand's pinky is not to be trusted with crouching. Also, I find back to the article. Let's see. Better to trust it with low-frequency actions like sprinting and crouching, they said. Also, I finally understand why people find control to crouch much more convenient than I do. But this is the part that just boggles my mind. How did this position make its way into the collective unconscious of PC gaming? And then there's a diagram of the arrow keys here, of course. And it says here, this is from the Wolfenstein manual. Even conjured up the best theory, the typical WASD positioning actual carries over from using the arrow keys from back in the Wolf 3D days. If you used your right hand on the arrow keys, you almost certainly had your index finger on left, middle on down, and ring on right. I can confirm that. No pinky. And if you used your left hand on pinky, you could reach out and press right control. This makes a whole lot of sense, and in original Wolfenstein 3D and Doom, control was the default fire key. You betcha. I can confirm that. I'm going to say I didn't play enough Doom is as good enough explanation I'm going to ever get. It's true. I didn't play Doom back when it came out. Then again, plenty of people who did play Doom went to play tons of Quake, and then their first-person games like System Shock, which often had radically varying control schemes, and they vastly still migrated to proper WASD. To make myself feel better about my apparently weird way of WASDing, I turned to someone I knew who would have had my back. Former PC managing editor Chris Kaminsky. If I'm a mere heretic, Chris is the archangel of chaotic PC control schemes. Here's what he had to say. WASD? Vanilla. Boring and conformist. Behold my ultimate scheme. Picked up in Duke Nukem 3D, the best ever made with the World Nukem in the right. Right mouse button to go forward naturally. Pinky on left control thumb, left alt on spacebar, right finger on shift, middle finger on AW, index finger working W, Z, S, X, and occasionally the almighty C. This is hurting my brain even. And you better believe it, my mouse is inverted. This is how I rock my PC games, and always have. Your way is wrong and stupid. Mine is the best. Honestly, Control Shift AS is pretty comfortable, and I don't think I could ever get used to walking forward with a mouse button. But I dig the rest of it. As Chris says, PC gaming is all about bending the platform to your preferences. Choice in graphics, choice in mods, choice in hardware. It's no difference with controls. If I have the sudden urge to scroll lock as jump and F8 as strafe left, well, that's my business, damn it. Embrace your strange control schemes, PC gamers. If you're young, try not to totally mangle your hand using the default bindings for Fortnite. It's okay to rebind. And if you see someone out there using your pinky on A, ease them into the wider world of WASD gently. I like that article for that exact reason, and that's very like using custom bindings is great. I custom bind in RuneScape. They don't just don't macro, but custom binding is great. Ah, that killed me. My face is Numb. That was a lot of words.
The guy's probably a genius. You know, if you can use your pinky on A, he said. Is that what he said? A.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I should do I should raise like $100, and I'll do an entire stream where I play PlanetSide 2 with my pinky on A.
But that's what I got, because we got taught to type like that. So that's why I can't, because when I was taught to type with the home buttons and
I
and
get
such.
I get
We're doing it that way, and that's why I can't play it, because there's so much work for your pinky finger. It's just so it's actually funny to hear all that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for Home Road Typer, and that's why, you know what, I put that pitfall. I actually read that article with you in mind, because I figured you had never WASD gamed before.
No, because, it is too unnatural.
Yeah. And if you ever WASD gamed, I figured that article might be interesting to you as kind of a primer to get a meta understanding of why people actually put their hands like that. Anyway, that's all I got for today's episode of RuneScape Weekly. I'm gonna pass out because Hampshire. I redeem if you cash in your mage bucks in the middle of a show. I will oblige. Our buddy Hampshire cashed in a Get Dank for, I don't even know how many mage bucks that was worth, but I honored it, and it derailed me a little bit.
That's worth 50,000 next time.
Yeah, I might have to up the mage bucks on that, but whew, I think I made it through the show. I think it was still a good show, and
it was a fun show.
I think we did well, and Vega, I think we did a very good job for your first show.
I appreciate that.
I hope to see you back.
Thank you for joining us. It was good.
I hope you'll.
Thank you, Bern.
And just, I do tend to talk a lot. So if you've got something to say, just jump in.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
I'll shut up. Don't be afraid to jump in, because I do tend to, I'll get an idea and I do tend to talk a lot and just keep going. So cut me off at any time. I won't be offended.
All right.
It gets easier. It gets easier.
Oh, what a run!
What happened?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I've just done my mushrooms before I went to bed, and I've got 4 Zygomite spallings, 2 from each patch.
Oh wow, nice! Congrats.
Yeah, but I don't have room for them.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, super thanks for everyone who came out live to this episode of RuneScape Weekly. Gonna attempt to do my end cap here. You can find us on the web in all sorts of places. We've redone everything, so it's going to be a little tough for me. This isn't actually my end cap. I let people redo it for the show notes for the RuneScape Wiki, so it's going to be a little tough for me. So bear with me as I try to do this. So you can find us on the web. Facebook page for you, facebook.com/RSWeekly. We're on Twitter as well, @RSWeekly. Discord for you, runescape.chat. That's in your web browser. We're on YouTube as well, runescape.video. That's our short link for YouTube. Twitch.tv/Magebit for our Twitch account. Hope to see us live there if you want to catch us live or find past highlights and VODs. You can find our in-game clan, Kill, Skill, and Chill, or catch it on the web at runescape.club. Follow my progress on the web at runescape.expert. RuneScape.today is currently being reworked. Special thanks to our top Patreon supporters, including Sudwood and Ricky A, and a big spanks to 14 others. You're a huge help. All of our patrons, super thank you to being able to do the show. We wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for our patrons. You want to help us, support us, patreon.com/RuneScape. Wouldn't be able to do the show if it wasn't for Patreon. We're launching all these new projects in 2019, and Patreon is how we're doing that. So thank you so much. Want to get the blogs? You want to get the pre-show? There was a nice pre-show today. We do all sorts of pre-shows. And again, the end of January, at the end of every month, the pre-shows from the previous months get released. So there's always new pre-shows. So check them out. Patreon.com/RuneScape. There's always free content to check out there as well. So we'll see you again, probably tomorrow for the mining and smithing rework. Yeah! Happy scaping!